Hi guys, and welcome back to Moto Joshing. So here I am at the DVLA test centre, and this is where you would actually do your Mod 1. So this is where you kind of do the manual handling stuff, where you kind of reverse your bike around. Then you got your zigzags in the middle, do the figure of 8. Then you've got U-turn down here. Then you've got your high speed manoeuvres for the curves and the swerve test just there as well. Yeah, so this is where you'll kind of do the test at a test centre similar to this. So it's yeah, if you know your local test centre, come down, have a look at it, check it out. But normally good instructors will actually bring you to actually practice on the test area. So by all means, this is my one. It's certainly not perfect. It actually has a moss issue, but we'll talk about that another time. Anyway guys, I just wanted to show you the Mod 1 kind of area, test centre. This is in Cove, but obviously your local one should look exactly the same as this. Howdy guys, and welcome back. So I started filming my Mod 1 video yesterday, and my battery ran out. So I've come back today to kind of finish it off. But hopefully we've done the kind of intro as to the kind of where it kind of takes place, the kind of circumstances. So my top tips for the Mod 1 then. Main ones are keep cool, try and stay relaxed. Assessments are difficult. Try and treat each obstacle one and the same. Certainly keep your head up. And keep an eye on where you're actually going, as opposed to focusing on the objects on the ground, or the cones, or the swerve test, or whatever it might be. Try and keep your speed up and consistent. You will get reattempts at some of the more high speed stuff, so keep that in mind. I think the biggest one people fail on is the U-turn. So practice, more practice, and good instruction is all you need. And 9 times out of 10, they will sort that out for you, and make sure that you are ready to pass that test. So generally good instructors will actually have an arrangement so they can take you to the actual DVLA test centre, so you can get some test time in the same place that you'll actually do your assessment. That's certainly what happened for myself. The DVLA place again, just up here, and there's actually someone doing there, or at least practicing. This is one of the guys from yesterday, and someone doing their Mod 1. So this is just parking in the cones. Just people getting their tutelage. Yeah, people are always hanging about you, ready for their tests and stuff, so there's normally some nervous people about. But yeah, essentially you would come to this test centre, and as you can see, getting good instruction. So this is also the place you come for your Mod 2 as well. So you literally come, they check all your paperwork in the office, and they then make sure obviously you're ready for it. On my Mod 2, the person was actually in a car, they weren't on a motorbike. And they essentially followed me out. They followed me, did all the normal things, and they're on the radio. And it's a bit freaky when you get someone who's actually passed the test coming back to the DVLA centre, so it does weird some people out, especially the instructors, and like, I don't know what that guy's doing here. Anyway, so yeah, so essentially there will be certain routes within your city when you're doing your lessons for the Mod 2. They'll generally take you around the same routes, you know, that you will be doing, and person essentially follows you on a designated route. So in general they'll be giving you directions, but there is a part of the test where they'll just ask you to follow signs, and you just follow the signs as applicable. Obviously you need to make sure that you're doing everything right, that you're doing your, you know, rear observations, and that you're fully committed to the process, that you're you know, really giving those head bobs so they can see you looking in your mirrors, you know, deeply and wantfully, and gazing in them lovingly. Yeah, that's quite an important part. If they don't see you looking in your mirrors regularly, they'll knock you down for that as well. Essentially you do the designated route though, and as long as everything goes smoothly, then you'll pass. So so with that in mind, top tips for Mod 2 is just constantly be doing those checks. Make sure you constantly you know, checking, making sure that before you move off you're doing your rear observations, that you're really intently looking constantly in your mirrors, and hold that gaze for a while, you know, make sure you're aware of everything around you. Certainly be very careful of the speed limits, but don't dawdle. They need to see that you're going to be fine in you know, normal road conditions and flow of traffic. Certainly on my test I barely saw the guy. I know he was behind me, but he got caught behind loads of other things. So yeah, I didn't really see the guy, which was cracking for me, but of course I'm not necessarily sure other people would agree. And it was weird. Obviously normally the guy is on a motorbike. I think it was just because it was December, sorry, end of October when I was doing my test, around about now, that it was quite cold, so maybe the guy was a pussy. And yeah, it was easier for him to be in the car, I guess. But it's certainly something to be aware of. In general, guys, I think the biggest thing about the assessment stuff is be calm. You know, remember your training, listen to your instructor, get good instruction. Do not just go to the cheapest guy who says he can knock it out for you, because that's not, you need instructors that are going to really be able to get you done, you know, get you passed safely. So what I will say is yeah, I used Phil. I'll put a link to his 212 bike site. So I used him here. He was cracking, no problems at all. Just make sure if you speak to some local bikers, they'll be able to tell you who's any good and who's a bag of shit, and they'll certainly give you recommendations as to, you know, who to go for your schoolage as such, and they'll make sure you're you know, treated right and get good training. But good training is really the important part. Just make sure that if you do cock up, you try and, you know, take a kind of deep breath and move on. Try and not let it phase you. Don't ever think that you've properly fucked it. Keep your focus on the game and the task at hand. Even if you've cocked up a couple of times and you think, oh, it's shagged, I fucked it, just keep at it. I've spoken to quite a few people that were just like, oh yeah, I genuinely fucked it and thought I'd completely failed, and then it turns out they'd actually passed. So bear that in mind. They might not be all doom and gloom, as it were. you never know. You might actually do better than you thought you would. But yeah, just take it easy. Certainly brush up on the highway code stuff as well, even before your main test. They will ask you things about the bike as well, so brush up on the bike. Your instructor should go through the kind of components and things for the bike. So hopefully you are completely comfortable with all that kind of stuff, because they can ask you the show and tell section, ask you bits about the bike, so certainly something to be aware of. And they might ask you, the correct operation of the horn or whatever it might be and things. So yeah, apart from that, I just honestly wish you good luck. The one thing I will say is that passing the test is only the beginning. We are constantly learning, and you will constantly be learning after you've passed your test. I would say the test was just my rubber stamp that I was somewhat safe, and the fact that I haven't had an accident in the year since. So far, it's bound to happen at some point, but so far, then yeah, their assessment hopefully was correct. So just bear that in mind. Take your time. Try not to let things phase you. Practice what you're shit at. And if you're not confident going for your test, don't go for it. I know a lot of people that do these, fast kind of 4-day course things and all this kind of bollocks. At the end of the day, you're ready when you're ready. So give yourself time. Don't rush it. Don't add pressure. I certainly wouldn't buy the motorbike of your dreams and put it in your garage waiting for you to pass your test. That kind of thing it can only end badly. So yeah, certainly just take your time. And that's probably enough tips from me. And investigate Cove. Catch you on the next one, guys. Ta-ta, bye-bye.